How's it going, guys? Welcome to Minimized Media. I'm your host, James, and I want to use this time to announce the new gaming series that's coming up on the channel very soon, as well as some really cool musical stuff coming up in the future. So if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that my playthrough of the original Spider-Man for the PlayStation 1 has just come to an end. And I was thinking to the future of what game I should play next. And I was thinking about the games that I already have on the channel. A lot of them are very fun and silly, and, you know, I make dumb quotes and do stupid faces and stuff like that. I mean, even Grand Theft Auto Vice City, where it deals with some very serious themes, is still a very silly game, and I can still enjoy it in a sort of childish way, if you like. So I was thinking of maybe something a bit more serious, a bit more mature, a bit more adult, something a bit more story-driven, something that I can suck myself into and be really drawn into the story of the game. So as I was going through my gaming collection, I happened upon this one game which I thought this fits the criteria so perfectly. It's really serious, it's really story driven, the visuals are really nice in it, and I'm not going to tell you straight away. In fact, I'm going to give you some clues so you can try and have a guess. Okay, the first clue is that it's co-created by 3D Realms, which, as you may or may not know, did the original Duke Nukem series, which is some of my all-time favourite games, and also the super famous Rockstar games. I didn't even know that both these two collabed on this game to create this game, and when I was going through the beginning of it and I saw that, I knew Rockstar did it, but I had no idea that 3D Realms was involved in it. And yeah, it absolutely blew me away. That's the first clue you get. Okay, secondly, this game is very, very mature. It deals with some very complex themes, like the underbelly of like New York City and things like that. I won't go too much into it, but a big clue is that this game is beautifully, magnificently narrated all the way through by the main character. The character has this sort of deep, husky, thoughtful sort of voice where he's sort of mulling over what's going on. It sounds a bit sort of empty inside, maybe, you know, due to like a past trauma or something like that. Wink, wink. So there's the next clue. Okay, the final clue, if you haven't already got it, which if you have, fantastic, is that a lot of the cutaway scenes in this game are in comic book panel style, and it's almost like a film noir sort of setting. So it's narrated, and then the panels are actually spoken out aloud as if they're acted. And every single panel in it is a still of a real picture of real people. So, what do you think it is? Did you get it? Leave a comment down below. I mean, I'm going to tell you anyway, but have a guess anyway. I'll give you a minute to think about it. Okay, that'll do. I'm going to put you out of your misery. The next game that I'm going to be playing on the channel, I'm super pleased to announce, is Max Payne. The original Max Payne for the PlayStation 2. Now, as I'm recording this, I've already got a couple of episodes already finished and ready to get out to you guys. Because as you may or may not know, I record way in advance due to, you know, job restrictions and time restrictions and spending time with my family and stuff like that. But I've already got a couple of episodes of this game already in the bank, ready to go on the channel. And up to this point, I'm completely enthralled. Max Payne is such a delicately told, brilliant story that has maybe the best narration in a game of all time. Controversial opinion, maybe. I absolutely adore it. I remember playing it when I was young. I can't remember when it came out. I think it was about 2002, 2003, something like that. And I never really played a game this mature with this many sort of serious aspects to it. Max sort of losing his family and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not going to go into it. The series will be up soon, so you'll be able to go through it through that. But I will say I'm having a blast with it so far, and I'm going to be doing a full playthrough of the original Max Payne. Super excited for that. Let's move on to the second announcement that I've got, is that I'm going to be releasing some musical content on the channel. Now I do have a whole bunch, like a load of original songs that I've already recorded that are just requiring bass or mixes or vocals and things like that. But I didn't just want to throw a track at you guys straight away. I mean, obviously I would do build towards that track, but I wanted to start with something a bit more personal to me. So as you may or may not know, I used to be in a band. I mean, I've been in a ton of bands, but the band specifically I'm talking about is my former band VIPERA, which I'm wearing the shirt for right now. I was in this band for a total of about 6 years. We used to be called Warhead, and then we eventually, you can't use that name because everyone in the world is called Warhead. And we settled on the name VIPERA, which I was super proud of. But as a total, we were together for 6 years. And we were actually in the midst of about 2 years ago, we were in the midst of recording our second album. I say second album because obviously we have a first, which is this one right here, which is Venomation. We recorded this on the super cheap. We did it in Ocean Recording Studios in Paignton, which is in the heart of Devon. Those guys were really accommodating. Barney Dine, who literally produced the album and recorded the album, he did the best job he could do with our super limited budget. And I am super proud of this album. And we did actually release a music video for the song, I don't know if you can see it there, the song Venom, which I'll link down below if you want to go and check that out. Sort of like a thrash metal throwback, little bit of sort of new wave of British heavy metal in there, power screams and super, fast chuggy riffs and stuff like that. So go and check it out. So anyway, a couple of years went by and we started to think about recording our second album. Now the first album was very sort of, here's all the songs we have, so let's just record them. But the second album was a lot more thought out, a lot more orchestrated, if you like. Like, we thought about the songs as they flow into each other. We changed up our style a little bit because we were very sort of classic heavy metal. And we wanted to inject a bit more modern styles into our music, sort of Machine Head, post-blackening Machine Head. And what our biggest influence, which is Trivium. We want to throw those into the mix, as well as having the 7-string guitars. So our style sort of changed up, and we thought, right, now's the time, we've got the cash, we're going to jump into the studio and record our second album. So along with a really good friend of mine, Mr. Simon Gregg, who would go on to produce and record the album, we stepped into Big Red rehearsals and recordings. This building is huge, it's got a massive live room, and it was just such an awesome experience. We took a week's holiday from work and we all crammed into this room and we got all the drums and guitars done. It was such an amazing time. I have so many fond memories of tracking the instruments for the album. And Simon Gregg, who was my former tutor at college, did such a great job of accommodating us. And his technical know-how and his skill, and most importantly for me, his passion for the project, definitely didn't go unnoticed. So if you are watching this, Simon, thank you so much for your contribution to the album, because I just felt like it was so special, and that's because you made it that way. Okay, so fast forward a little bit more, it's time to track vocals. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this, but I'm going to say that there was turmoil within the band. We would eventually go on to split up. I tried to keep us together. I tried my best. We lost the drummer, who was also the co-writer of the album. And we tried to look for another drummer, and it just wasn't to be. So we eventually called it a day. But I felt like I needed to finish the album. So I carried on with Simon to track the vocals for the album, which brings me to the content that I'm going to be uploading. So while I don't necessarily hold all the rights to the actual songs, and they're not even finished and mixed or anything like that anyway, so I'm not going to be uploading the full songs, but what I am going to be uploading is like video recordings of myself doing the vocal takes for about 7 of the tracks off the album. These videos haven't seen the light of day. I was recording these to sort of compile a making of sort of video to go here on YouTube, But that, again, that wasn't meant to be. So I thought, what better way to actually get these recordings out than on the channel right here? Gives me a perfect excuse to release some music and showcase to you guys what kind of, you know, music to expect on the channel, what to expect from my voice and that kind of thing. And it's just a great sort of catharsis for me to be able to get these lyrics and these melodies out to the world, because, you know, by the looks of it right now, the songs aren't ever going to get released. So this is a really good way for me to release those songs, you know, without treading on anyone's toes. So that's my two big announcements, guys. The first being that I'm going to be playing the original Max Payne for the PlayStation 2. I hope that you come on that journey with me as we go into the deep, dark realms of Max Payne and really get sucked into the meat of that story. The second being that I'm going to be releasing a whole bunch of videos in the future titled the VIPERA Vocal Recording Sessions. Thank you so much for joining me here on this vlog. In the description below is a couple of links of some of the latest gaming videos that I've got. So Vice City and Rayman, which is evil, by the way. And there's also going to be the short compilation of my Spider-Man playthrough. So if you go and check those out, I'd be super grateful. I wanted to ask you a favour. If you're watching this video and you're getting any sort of nostalgic bite out of any of these videos, then please do me a favour and share them with your friends. Let's share the nostalgia around and relive a really great era of gaming, the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2. Gaming that we grew up with. I would be super grateful if you would share this video or share any of the other videos I've got on the channel. If you are enjoying the content on the channel, then please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, and once you have, hit the notification bell. That way you're kept up to date with all of the videos as and when they come out. My name is James and I'm your host here on Minimize Media. Remember to always take it easy.